in 2007, a now cult classic film called Into the Wild hit theaters. The movie told the true story of Christopher McCandless, a young man who, after graduating college with honors, rejected a conventional life entirely. Instead of pursuing a career, he gave away his money, donated his belongings, and disappeared into the Alaskan wilderness to live completely off the grid. McCandless survived alone in the wild for 113 days, sheltering inside an abandoned bus before ultimately dying of starvation. It's a tragic ending, but the film doesn't frame his life as a failure. Instead, it focuses on his drive for freedom, his refusal to live a life he didn't believe in, and his willingness to take enormous risks in pursuit of meaning. When the movie ends, most viewers don't leave feeling sad. They leave feeling inspired. One of those viewers was an 18-year-old high school senior named Matt Higgins, who lived in Oregon. Matt was approaching graduation, and unlike many of his classmates, he had no clear plan. College didn't feel right. Jumping straight into a job didn't either. But after watching Into the Wild, a third option suddenly appeared, one that felt bold, meaningful, and strangely necessary. Matt decided he would head into the wilderness himself. Not forever, just long enough to disconnect, clear his head, and figure out what he wanted from life. His plan was simple but extreme. After graduating in 2007, he would spend the spring of 2008 hiking the entire California section of the Pacific Crest Trail, completely alone. That stretch of trail is roughly 1,700 miles, running from the Mexican border in Southern California all the way north to Oregon. It cuts through deserts, climbs over mountains, passes through remote forests, and stretches across long sections where hikers can go days without seeing another person. This was not a beginner's hike, but Matt wasn't a beginner. He'd grown up hiking and camping throughout Oregon and the western U.S. He was comfortable in remote areas, familiar with dangerous wildlife, and experienced navigating terrain where mistakes could be fatal. Bears, cougars, rattlesnakes, none of that scared him. What scared him was the idea of staying stuck. So in the spring of 2008, Matt packed his gear, flew to Southern California, made his way to the Mexican border, and stepped onto the Pacific Crest Trail heading north. For the first several weeks, everything went exactly as expected. Each day he hiked until exhaustion set in. At night, he pitched his tent just off the trail, ate a quick meal, crawled inside his sleeping bag, and passed out. Then he'd wake up and do it all again. The only real trouble he encountered was mild dehydration once, and a close call with a rattlesnake another time. By his standards, the hike was routine. That changed when he reached Lassen National Forest in Northern California. Lassen is dense. The trees press in tight on both sides of the trail, towering overhead and blocking out much of the light. The air feels heavy, sound carries strangely. Not long after entering the forest, Matt was walking along a narrow dirt path when the trail curved sharply to the right. As he rounded the bend, he saw something that stopped him cold. About 20 feet off the trail, sitting on a large boulder, were two people, a man and a woman, both middle-aged. They were dressed entirely in white. Their clothes were filthy. The man had a long, tangled beard, and both of them were staring directly at him. Matt felt instantly uncomfortable. He lowered his eyes and kept walking. As he passed them, he forced a smile, gave a small wave, and said hello. They didn't respond. They didn't move. They just watched him. Matt kept walking, resisting the urge to look back. He could feel their eyes on him long after he'd passed. The silence bothered him more than anything. On the Pacific Crest Trail, hikers are usually friendly, sometimes overly so, because seeing another person can be rare. Still, Matt rationalized it. Maybe they didn't speak English. Maybe they were just odd. It wasn't his problem. He continued on. That evening, as the light faded, Matt searched for a place to camp. The trees were packed too close to the trail, so he walked about 300 feet into the forest and found a small clearing. He pitched his tent, cooked a meal, and stored his leftover food in a waterproof bag, which he hoisted into a tree to keep it away from bears. Then he crawled into his tent and fell asleep. At dawn, Matt woke and immediately noticed something was wrong. His food bag was gone. He stepped out of his tent, assuming a bear must have taken it. But when he checked the ground near the tree, he didn't see bear tracks. Instead, he saw boot prints, two distinct sets. And they weren't just near the tree. They were everywhere around his tent, through the clearing, all over his campsite. Matt froze. These people had somehow found his campsite 300 feet off the trail in total darkness without waking him. They'd cut down his food and left silently. The realization hit him all at once. It had been the people in white. Panic crept in. He scanned the forest, half expecting to see them watching from behind a tree. He didn't see anyone, but the feeling of being watched wouldn't leave. He packed up fast and walked back to the trail, forcing himself not to run. For hours afterward, he kept checking over his shoulder. Eventually, the forest opened into a wide meadow bathed in sunlight. Visibility stretched in all directions. Matt finally relaxed. He convinced himself the couple had just been desperate, hungry. He told himself it was over. It wasn't. 3 days passed without incident. Then on the fourth night, deep in another dense section of forest, Matt set up camp again, this time laying sticks in a wide perimeter around his tent as an early warning system. That night he woke suddenly. Pitch black. No idea why. Then he heard it, a stick snapping. Something was nearby. Matt slowly reached for his hunting knife. Footsteps continued, unbothered, deliberate, moving closer. They stopped inches from his head. Then came the whispering. Not from one direction, from everywhere. The whispers grew frantic as footsteps circled his tent. Matt was paralyzed. Then, just as suddenly as it started, everything stopped. No retreating footsteps, just silence. Matt didn't sleep again. At sunrise, he unzipped the tent and found boot prints circling it. He ran. By afternoon, he escaped Lassen Forest and camped near a town. That night, he replayed everything. The stalking made no sense. How had they followed him for days without being seen? The next morning, Matt continued north into Mount Shasta Forest, an area notorious for unexplained disappearances. For 3 days, nothing happened. On the fourth day, hiking along an open mountainside trail, Matt turned around and saw 2 white figures miles behind him. The people in white. They were still following him over 50 miles later. Matt ran, for hours, until darkness forced him off the trail again. That night, as exhaustion pulled him toward sleep, a stick snapped. Whispering erupted, then light. A flashlight illuminated his tent. Matt exploded out of the tent screaming, waving his knife. A figure charged him. Matt ran. He crashed through the forest until he dove beneath a fallen log and hid there all night, watching a light sweep the woods. At dawn, he ran again, abandoning all his gear. He reached civilization, contacted police, and was taken to a motel. His family drove down the next day and brought him home. Later, authorities confirmed other thefts, but Matt was the only one stalked. To this day, no one knows who the people in white were, or how they kept finding him. And that's where the story ends.